y'all, welcome back to my channel. We need to have a talk. We need to sit down and just have a chat as friends among other writers, because I just feel like I am in a tight situation right now with my story. This is going to be very embarrassing to say, but I'm just going to come out and say it. Y'all, let me tell you, nothing is going according to plan at all. Not even a little bit. And it's literally just day 3 of the 75 Hard Writing Challenge. If you've been following me or paying attention to my channel, but I started working on this new novel project since the end of March or early April. Tell me why I only have 12 chapters written. One Google Doc of my actual first draft of 12 chapters written, and then another Google Doc, it's just random scenes I have written for the story. And here we are in early May, and I'm just trying to figure out the math right now. How did I get to that point? Yesterday was day 2 and I almost crashed out. Seriously, I almost didn't write yesterday because I was so stressed and annoyed with my story, and I had to just leave the house, go to Starbucks. I know I've been a little over dramatic, but I don't care. I was just so stressed to the point I had to go to Starbucks and just sit down and just think for a minute. And I come to the conclusion and I realized something. I think there's 2 problems. I was trying to do 2 things at the same time. I was trying to figure out the structure, figure out the character arc, figure out where the plot's going, at the same time of trying to write the book fast. And I feel like I was just pressing the gas and the brakes of the car at the same time. And then I'm sitting there wondering why my car ain't going forward. So I was like, wait a minute, I gotta stop. And I know I said in my last vlog, which I was kind of hesitant to make this video, and it's been 2 weeks ago, I made a vlog where I said for 30 days, I was gonna try to write without an outline. And I'm sitting here right now admitting defeat, waving the white flag, saying I do need an outline for this book really badly. I feel like that's why the story is stalling, why I'm struggling. I have to push myself to sit down and write every single day because I don't know where my story's going, and I had no plot or outline. And also, do I have a clear understanding of who my characters are? Probably not. So I was like, let's just use today to this week, the first week of 75 Hard Challenge. And I know I said before the 75 Hard Challenge, just at least have the outline, the character profiles ready to go. And again, because I thought I didn't need it because I was going to do the 30-day challenge of no outline, but I think that's really stupid on my part. And I understand that every writer is different. Not all writers think the same. Some writers can do without outline and their story comes out wonderful. Some writers need a complete outline and everything before they even start writing, and their story still comes out good. So I think it just depends on the writer. So I'm going to use the rest of this week to figure out what my story is, to fall in love with it. Today, I am trying to figure out my characters. And then tomorrow, I think I'm just going to outline. So this week is just going to be a brainstormer week. So I need to just use this 45-minute sprint this morning and just figure out what direction I really want this story to go. Y'all can hear the background noise, dog barking, neighbor riding his motorcycle down the street. If you do hear background noise, I'm sorry. I might need to close that window. But anyway, so I just finished the first 45-minute sprint for today. And so I worked on the female protagonist, the main protagonist, and the antagonist, and the 2 side characters. When I first develop a character is just figure out the personality types. I think I mentioned in other videos, but I am obsessed with the character's personality types. I love Enneagram types. I love MBTI. I love learning about people's personality types. And I love to give each character different personality type. That way I can prevent them from sounding similar or even sounding like me, because I notice a problem with some writers. We end up inserting ourselves in the story, and the stories should not really be about us. It should be about people that are total strangers to us, but we just know a lot about them somehow. So anyway, I like to give them each a personality type, Enneagram type. The main female protagonist in this story, she's an Enneagram 3, Wing 2, and I wanted her to be someone that's ambitious. She works hard, she's studious. Her character's a little bit inspired by Princess Tiana from Princess and the Frog, And also Rory Gilmore type vibe. She's always in the books, always studying, working hard. And I just want her to be this type of character. And the antagonist, I made him like an Enneagram 8. I don't know. I just feel like Enneagram 8s are always the ones that are just tough to me. They're like, I don't know. I just see them as tough, hardcore, villain vibe. Obviously, I don't want all my antagonists to be Enneagram 8s, but I just saw him for some reason as Enneagram 8 and a little bit of Enneagram 5 because I do want him to be like really intelligent. The reason why I just love using personality types like the Enneagram MBTI is because if you're really struggling to figure out what your character's internal conflict is, you go on Enneagram websites or even look at Enneagram YouTubers, they talk about each personality type's core fear, core desire, and the lies they believe about themselves. And let me tell you, it's just so helpful to figure out the character's internal conflict because sometimes I just be really stuck. I don't know what I want my character to desire. So that's why I always try to get a personality type too. And of course, and also doing Enneagram types are fun. Y'all should really get into that. It's so fun. I love learning about Enneagram types. I'm an Enneagram 4, but I don't want to rant on that. And also for this, I use Notion. I know people use Scrivener or sometimes Google Docs to make their character profiles, but I love using Notion. And as you can see, I do use real people to as my characters. I think about all the movie and TV show actors, actresses, and I think of who would play the role the best. And I do like an imaginary casting call. What actor or actress would play this role well? And I just give them all each a role. And I know that's cringy and cliche to say out loud, but I just love doing that. But I had to be honest, one of the things I am struggling with, their mannerism, their behavior, how they talk, how they dress. But I don't want to dwell too much on that because I feel like that'll slow me down. For the next writing sprint, I am going to focus on the character's character arc, their character journey, because a story is really boring if the character doesn't change for the better or for the worse. And I don't want my character to be flat and not do anything. I'm trying to make sure my story is very heavily character driven rather than just focused on the plot. But anyway, I'm going to take a break right now and come back later for the next writing sprint. Come on, Theo. You need to exercise just as much as I do. All right, as part of the Certified Heart Writing Challenge is to be outside and get some sunlight, get some fresh air, get some walking in for 15 to 30 minutes and to just get away from the computer because I know a lot of us, we probably sit at the computer a lot or we're just sitting down all day depending on our jobs, the writing project we're working on, and this is a good way to get outside, get some fresh air, and just take a break. I definitely need this because your girl, she's been really slacking on exercising. I try to exercise, I start for like a week and then I quit, come back later, do it for a week or two, then quit again. So I definitely need to get some walking in, some steps in. So let's go because I've been chatting way too much.
Porch light flicker on the siding, moths dancing like they know the tune. Porch light flicker on the siding, moths dancing like they know the tune. Every breath feels borrowed, but tonight the world's in tune.
I only been out here for 5 minutes and I already saw a wasp or a hornet, whatever you want to call it, trying to get around me because they're trying to build a nest on the other side of this porch. And I don't know how long I can stay out here. Even though it's not required or part of this version of the 75 Heart Challenge of doing one session inside and one session on the outside. But I thought it's a pretty day. It's not really that hot outside. It's just cloudy right now. And I just thought this would be a really good day just to sit outside and get some writing done. But I'm gonna be so real with y'all. There are wasps and hornets flying around, and my cat, she loves to wander off. Literally yesterday, she wandered off. We didn't know where the heck she was. Turns out she's underneath the house because I was outside doing the garden. But let's do our next 45-minute writing session. And I'm supposed to be working on developing my character arc, whether it's positive or negative. Right now, I'm not really sure. I think it's going to be kind of hard to figure out how the character goes from beginning to the end because I don't know the ending of my story. So this is going to be kind of a challenge to figure it out. But I'm heavily going to rely on Enneagram. This is a website called Enneagram Institute, and they have a healthy and unhealthy, but I don't know if that's going to help at all. Maybe I can use that as inspiration because there's also different levels of Enneagram types. for each Enneagram type on how healthy they are and how average and healthy they are or unhealthy they are. So I'm just going to use that as inspo. I don't know if that's going to help me at all. I don't want to spend too much time deep diving research into character arcs because I feel like I can dive deeper into the character arcs and having a solid concrete character arc like in draft 2. But we're just going to see what happens.
Chair arms beneath me, plank boards keep the time. Chair arms beneath me, plank boards keep the time. If this sounding perfect, that's...
We're back inside. As y'all can imagine, I did not stay outside very long because the birds, the bees, the cat, the dog, everything under the sun made it really hard for me to concentrate and get some stuff done. But I was there for about, I would say maybe a good 20 minutes. And I was like, I had to pause this timer and come back inside and work on this because I ain't getting no work done at all. That's the thing about spring and summer. I love spring more than summer. I love spring just as much as I love fall. I love it. But it's really hard to love spring when there's bees trying to attack you or you sitting outside. All you hear is a gentle breeze of the wind blowing and the birds singing. Then you hear a random angry buzzing sound of a wasp or a hornet, a bee, whatever. You look around and you don't know where the heck it is, and you feel it on your neck, and you're like, oh my gosh, you just start freaking out. And I was so scared at one point that I was going to drop my laptop because you know how when you're scared and your body reacts without you thinking first. And I'm just so scared I'm going to jump and then my laptop falls on the ground and it breaks because I would literally start crying. I'm so serious. If my laptop breaks, it cracks on the ground. Stuff is too expensive these days. The economy is not that great right now. Money is tight. The last thing I really need is my laptop to crack. But anyway, I sat out there and got some writing. I'm not technically, I wouldn't say writing. I just literally just sat there and thought about my characters. I think I spent a little too much time overthinking it. First drafts, you don't really have to focus too hard on arc right now. You should say for the second draft, focus harder on the second draft because second draft I think is more just about just getting the structure right, and that may getting the structure right. And so I decided I would just do a hybrid or a short approach. I would just focus on before and then the after, just write how they start at the beginning of the story, how they ended. And I wasn't, and like I said before, I'm still not sure if I want her to go down into a negative arc where she becomes a worse person or she becomes a positive arc becomes a better person. I'm really not sure which one it is. So I decided to give her both just in case. And I had this idea of maybe making her start off positive, but it's good. And then maybe she starts heading her way to like a negative trope. And towards the end later, she's like, oh my God, what have I been doing? You know what I mean? She has a realization, aha moment. Oh shoot. But I don't know yet. I just wrote 2. And also for the antagonist, I did the same thing. Maybe he becomes a better person, but you know what? I don't want him to become a better person. I want him to stay bad to the end. So no, wait. You know what? I was thinking maybe he starts off positive for the antagonist. I was like, maybe he starts off positive, and then towards something happens, and towards later on, he's like, oh. And then he starts going from good to bad and halfway through the story. I'm still not sure yet because I don't know how it ends, but I am glad I have somewhat of an idea. That way, when I write it, I know which direction to aim for. Even though my character arcs are kind of uncertain or they're just very short, simple little directions or outline, I'm glad I do have it because that way I know which direction I want my characters to go. But anyway, y'all, I yap too much, but I need to check off on my habit tracker journal. I don't know how I'm going to do my workout log. I literally just been developing the character profile. Maybe I can still track how much time I spent working on the book and then just log notes, take a few notes on my thoughts and ideas. But I love doing this little habit tracker, just trying to keep up with my goals. Stick it to the rule. You gotta do 2 of 45-minute sprints, which I did. And I gotta read a book of nonfiction. I haven't done that yet. And do 15 to 30-minute walk outside. I have done that yet. And no doom scrolling on TikTok. Y'all, I'm happy to say this is 2 days without. That's just so bad. I feel like an alcoholic announcing my celebration of like I need help. But 2 days of not being on TikTok, I guess a small win. And if you want to follow along the 75 Hard Challenge, just get the link in the description below and you can follow along with us and track your own progress in the 75 Hard Challenge. Hopefully y'all can see me good and can hear me good because it's rainy outside, and I decided to open up the windows and just listen to the rain, give myself a little bit of ASMR. And I don't know what it is about the rain, but it just makes me want to read more. Good morning and happy Thursday, y'all. I did some reading this morning because I feel like this rainy morning weather is perfect time to do some reading. And I feel like I've been doing myself a disservice of not reading enough books about this craft of writing. And that's why I'm just so glad as part of the 75 Hard Writing Challenge, because I feel like I don't know enough about writing. I feel like I know the basics, but I don't know enough of that. Y'all watch my other vlogs in the past few weeks or months. I bought this book and I read a few pages of it, and that's it. The time that I was filming it, that was the only time I read it, and I walked away because I was like, I don't know why I did stick with it, but I just feel like I have a terrible bad habit of not reading enough. And how can I say I want to be a writer if I'm not picking up a book and I'm not reading? I'm not trying to say spend hours poured into my day reading, because honestly that's just unrealistic, but I feel like I did myself a disservice of not reading every day, or at least a few minutes a day, especially reading books about writing, books like Story Genius. And let me tell you, Story Genius, I've been reading a few pages of it this morning, and I feel like I understanding the gist of it. I don't think I read enough to give my whole feedback and reviews on it, because I'm 11% in this book, but I have read some interesting parts at the beginning so far. She talked about the myth of a pantser, a myth of a plotter, and I came to this one conclusion. She said the plotters were on the right tracks because they know exactly where the story is going. They have a direction, like a guide. The plot is obviously a guide that's showing you which direction the story is going, but they're missing something. And she said the myth with the pantser, she used an analogy of a rose. When a guy next door gives you a rose, or your the husband on your 10-year anniversary gives you withered or dying roses, what she's trying to say is that the rose has a meaning behind it, and not just like a plant that you give someone. There's a meaning behind it. There's a past behind it. And the thing about pantsing is that you don't know the characters or the story's past. You don't know their history. You don't know, I guess, why the person they are. Like, why are they this way? Why do they make decisions that they do? Why they think this way? But the main thing I am seeing what she's saying is that she hasn't said it yet, and well, I haven't got to that part yet, but she's basically saying, and I think that's why she said the plotters are so close, but they're too focused on the external events. And I think that's why I've been struggling so much with this story idea, is that I think the plot idea itself, the premise, the main summary of the plot is good. But I think the reason why I struggle to push forward, because I don't know entirely who my characters are. So how can I sit and write a story if I don't even know who my characters are and begin with? I know I worked on it yesterday, but I think I want to go over it one more time. I want to make sure I have my character arcs, or their misbeliefs and their internal conflict, their desires down packed. So I want to spend some time this morning doing some writing, the first 45-minute sprint, and then move on from there. But first, guys, we gotta make that coffee, because I'm not writing without a cup of coffee. why I'm filming this, but I just got out of Barnes and Nobles. I don't know where have I been or why I never done this before, but I have never sat in Barnes and Nobles and just did writing. I live in a very small town where there's not a lot of stuff to do. I would literally have to drive over 30 minutes if I want to do something remotely like this. Simply just sitting in Barnes and Nobles and drinking in their cafes. But anyway, yeah, the life of being in a small town. But anyway, I really enjoy sitting in there. I want to do this more often. Sit in a cafe, not just like Barnes and Nobles, but find a local or any cafe bookstore and surround myself with books and write, because I was just writing and I would pause and I look around to see all the other books on the shelves, and I don't know, it just did something to me that just gave me so much joy, seeing all these other writers having their books published on the shelf. And it just encouraged me. It put that one day I'm gonna have one of my books on the shelf. One day it's gonna be us, y'all. We're gonna have our books on the Barnes and Noble shelf. But it just motivates me to just get to work. So sometimes I do like a little warm up and to just get me in the mood to get started on the work I need to do. So that's to be a random scene. And I wrote this really good scene that's emotional, how these two characters get to know each other a little more. And I was like, this will be so perfect for the story, an emotional beat. But I was really struggling really hard to just outline all the beats of the story. See, this is the thing I have. I don't know what it is about my writing process, but whenever I write, especially a new story, I write like a bunch of random scenes that come to my mind, emotional parts of a story. And sometimes, a lot of times, I don't know what it says about me as a writer, but I usually think in emotional moments, maybe something sad happens, maybe something romantic happens, maybe there's a moment where the characters get closer together to get to know each other. I have a list of scene ideas I wrote randomly in a Google Doc, and I'm trying to fit it into a plot or outline, and I feel like that's what's causing me to struggle right now. How to fit. I have at least, I would say, 15 to 20 random scenes for the story idea I've written over time. I just collected in a Google document because, like I said, whenever I have like a scene or a moment, sometimes like a movie trailer. You know how you have movie clips on YouTube or movie trailers? And that's why I think, and I write it down on my Google Doc. And now I'm trying to find out how can I connect these things, put them together, because right now they feel so random. And I think I was trying to sit there for the longest time trying to figure out how to outline this book using Save the Cat. And for the life of me, I struggled so much to get through the other acts, especially figuring out the ending. For the life of me, I don't know what the ending of the story should be. So basically, I'm continuing on with the same problem that I had yesterday. So I think I am just a hybrid between a plotter and a pantser. So I decided to do just outline the major points from the cat that I need the most. Obviously, the opening image, the catalyst or exciting incident, the midpoint, and the final image. Right now, the final image is the thing that's really just driving me crazy right now. So I have an idea. Maybe get sticky notes and maybe just write down all the scenes that I have written so far and just put it out on the floor and just figure out how can these scenes connect with each other? How can they all come together and connect? Maybe I could take it on the floor and just, or maybe get an index card or whatever I need to do and just rearrange the scenes all over the place, rearrange them on the floor, see where they connect. How can they connect in a way that makes chronological sense? But I feel like if I spend too much time trying to figure out every single beat and trying to make the outline perfect, because I think that's another thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make the outline perfect, and I feel like that's hindering me from making progress of getting the story written. And honestly, I want to get this book done as soon as possible, before June or early June. I want to get it done sometime this summer. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm just going to do my best and just figure it out from there. But anyway, right now I need to go and run a few errands. I need to get gas for the car, and Lord knows, y'all, gas is so expensive. I'm literally just dreading that right now. And I need to pick up some gifts for my mom because Mother's Day is around the corner. So I'm thinking about going nothing but bundt cake or maybe crumble cookie to get her a gift. I don't know what she'll be vibing with more, but I'll figure it out. I don't know what's gonna be. I saw this thing on Pinterest that was so cute, and I want to try to make it for my mom. So we're going to try to do that today. By the time I film this video, this weekend coming up is Mother's Day. So of course I had to go to the store and I had to get a few things for my mom. I saw this cute thing on Pinterest a few weeks ago and I made sure I saved it. And it's just this cute little thing where you get like a coffee tray and you put like a cake or pastry, something there in one section. The 4 cup holder sections and the plastic carton thing. You gotta fill each one, fill it with a candle, a bouquet of flowers, or either a coffee or the person's favorite drink. And then you get, that's a candle, flowers, favorite drink. And I think that's it. And then you just fill it in there. Everybody looks so cute. If I remember, I'm gonna put it on the screen so y'all can see how it looks. But as y'all can see, I went and was shopping and I got something for my mom and my grandma. But let me show you what I got. So I got these beautiful bouquet of flowers. My mom's favorite color is purple. So I tried to get the flower bouquet that had the most purple, and this was it. Look how beautiful it is. I love this so much. She's gonna love this so much. And this is one of the things that's gonna go in that little carton. And then I got her lavender. Of course, lavender is the purple go-to scent, but I got her this lavender. I tried to get one that was small that they could fit in like the cup holder thing. And that's why I didn't get the big one. So this one, I feel like it could fit in there. It smells so good. I got this from Kroger. Honestly, I got the flowers and the candle from Kroger. Oh, I got my grandma a bouquet of flowers as well. I was like, I can't forget my grandma. So I got her these bright, beautiful flowers. I feel like it just goes so well with her personality because my grandma is so bright. I feel like she's gonna love it. I got my mom a velvet cake little buntlet to put in there. It's got a little stain on that. I almost told her, can you give me one without a stain on it? But I was like, whatever. I was torn between the strawberry cheesecake because I know she loves cheesecake and the red velvet one, but I feel like she would love red velvet because she hasn't had red velvet in a minute. Y'all, I just cannot wait to see her face on Sunday when she sees her gift. We're actually going to give it to her tomorrow because the new Michael Jackson movie that came out, me and my sister went to see it, and then I told my mom how good it was, and she was like, take me there. I want to see it this weekend. So we're going to take her tomorrow to see it, and we're going to just, and I'm going to give her the gift before we go. But before that, I need to go by Starbucks to get her favorite coffee because you got to have a drink that goes with it. Now, I don't know if she's been drinking a lot of refreshers lately. So I don't know whether to get her a refresher or a hot coffee. I'll figure it out, but that's what I'm going to get her.
Porch light flicker on the siding, moths dancing like they know the tune. Porch light flicker on the siding, moths dancing like they know the tune. Every breath feels